Our presentation is over biomechanics. Biomechanics is the science that is concerned with analyzing how and why bodies move in the way that they do. Components in biomechanics are motion, force, momentum, levers, and balance. Motion is the movement of the body or an object through space. Speed and acceleration are important parts of motion. Force is a push or pull that causes a person or object to speed up, slow down, or change direction. Momentum is the product of a weight and its velocity when moved. Our arms and legs act as levers. There are 3 parts to a lever: resistant arm, the fulcrum, and the axis of rotation. Balance is about being stable. An important principle of balance is the alignment of the body's center of gravity over the base of support. Having a good balance is important for many sporting and exercise activities. Basic concepts of biomechanics is statics, dynamics. Statics and dynamics utilize basic laws of physics to analyze the effect of external loads on the body. Other basic concepts are kinematics, which focuses on motion without regard for the forces producing the motion. Kinetics is forces producing motion or maintaining equilibrium. Energetics is dealing primarily with energy and its transformations.
So examples of basic concepts for statics, it's the forces acting on a body at rest. Dynamics, it could be motion at which acceleration is present, could be walking or running. Kinematics is the appearance of motion, which could be just simple as moving water. Kinetics is the video of Cristiano Ronaldo where his eyes were measured in the dark to see the different reaction. And energetics could be thermodynamics, which is the total rate of energy production during muscle contraction. Components of biomechanics changing over time. Motion is a change and essential for moving a stationary object. Force could be a change in the force on an object, which is essential for moving a stationary object. Momentum is you have to have a greater change to occur in momentum. There has to be greater force used for the same period of time or same force for a longer period. And then with a lever, there's no changes. And for balance, the body will always be experiencing a change with movement.
Biomechanics and subdisciplines. So you have extrinsic biomechanics and intrinsic biomechanics. During extrinsic biomechanics, the focus was on movements and the measures of movements. What is the most efficient way to perform this movement? And this is the key to any sport or fitness program. My example would be somebody in the NFL. When they're weight training, you know, they've got different muscle groups they are training. You know, they've got their bench press, squat, deadlift, whatever. They usually don't just go in there and throw weights around randomly. There's a method to the madness, and it's because of biomechanics that they were able to measure what each of these exercises really did to the body. That way they could determine the best training program. During intrinsic biomechanics, the focus is on how the body is able to perform certain tasks. So the body will adapt to just about anything. And when you're looking at biomechanics, which is the study of movement, movement directly affects the cardiovascular as well as the muscular systems. So an example would be some of the studies I read were on oxygen use for runners on a treadmill versus on a trail. On a treadmill, it's pretty consistent, you know, especially if you have the incline flat. Yeah, as you increase the incline, there will be a little bit more demand on the body as you go. But the trail is going to be a lot tougher because the terrain isn't consistent. You're going to have different pressures, different stride length, and that's going to use a lot more oxygen because it's a lot harder on the body. Another example would be having two runners, one who's 20 years old and in shape and one who's 50 and out of shape. The demand on the body is going to be much harder for the guy out of shape. Therefore, his heart rate's going to be higher. He's going to need a lot more oxygen. He's going to feel out of breath faster than the guy that would be in shape.
We are here in Borås Swim Arena, applying biomechanical testing to swim training. In this project, we look at the start technique. Our aim is to develop a coach-friendly system, bringing science closer to the coaches that they can use on the poolside on an everyday basis. This is a collaboration between the Swedish Swim Federation, Chalmers University, and Qualisys. The key components we look at is the block time, speed at 10 meters, speed at 15 meters, and also, of course, the time at these points. We also look at the angle or the velocity out from the cone. At the start, we also look at the underwater kicking. It's important to have the right glide phase and also the amplitude and frequency of the kicking.
And here are our references.